Hello, and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for season converts and season fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to a very special new segment episode for history's sake and for end of the year spectacular's sake, because we love an end of the year spectacular.
We do. We love to go all out at the end of the year. And as we say at the end of every year, there was so much K-pop this year. It is the general trend of K-pop that it grows exponentially every year. So it makes sense that our end of the year wrap-ups would also grow exponentially.
Yeah, for sure. So our thought this year was, before we get to our classics, your B-side episodes, your AMAK awards, your countdowns,
etc.,
we usually have to make a big old spreadsheet of all of the music. And last year, I remember you and Yusong were both like, I don't even know what half of this was.
Yeah.
And it's very overwhelming. And also this year has been overwhelming, to say the least, in many ways. And time specifically is very difficult.
Yes, it's difficult to tell what is a month, what is a day. So we decided to break it down. We're going to just break this whole year down because time went wibbly wobbly. So we're going to do quarterly reports.
Yeah.
For 2020. And wouldn't you know it, the year breaks up so nicely into 4 pieces. So we're going to take 3 months at a time and just run down every single release that came out. This is for history's sake.
Yeah.
We're going to save our opinions for the end of the year spectacular.
We got time for that.
Yeah, we'll do rundowns of our favorites later. But this is just putting it all out there on the board, what came out. And it will help remind us what came out for us to then pick favorites
For sure.
later on.
Absolutely. Some other things included in this list, there are a few news items, like just again for history's sake, because I was thinking about the episode we did this year about the year 2000, that 2-part episode, and think of it sort of like that. So we won't have to do this episode 20 years from now because we'll already have covered 2020.
Exist.
So we've got releases and like a little bit of news just to contextualize and remember what happened. And then also I think an important thing to do this is we want to spot and track the trends of the year, so that when we get to the end, I want to make big old super cuts and we can be like, wow, look at it all. Yeah. So we'll also be noting some 2020 trends as we go along.
As we spot them.
Yeah. Should I list the trends we're looking out for now? I would say when I got started, we can see as the year goes on, but the trends that I was looking out for at start were onomatopoeia titles.
Sure. So titles that are just sort of nonsense sounds.
There will be a lot. Whistles as a main component of the music. What I am calling cowboy agenda, which has many parts but is a thing. Also, a similar thing is just retro vibes with big quotations around it.
Sure.
Because there are facets to that, but it was a trend. And also TikTok challenge dances were some things up top that I was
like
looking
specific choreo that when you watch the chorus, it looks like they took TikTok into consideration when making the chorus. Is that what you mean? Or the choreo?
And that then the song was on the group's TikTok. And while they were at the music shows, they got Super Juniors to unwillingly do it with them. Like,
oh, sure.
The TikTok
of it all
year.
this year.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So those are things that we're looking out for up top. But yeah, we're just going to go chronological. We're going to see what happened. And here we go.
Yeah, let's start. Right up at the top.
Right up at the top. The first thing of the year was news. On the 2nd of January, Super Junior Heechul and Momo of Twice confirmed their long rumored relationship. So that was our first big news item of the year. And then the first release that I have was on the 6th. And ATEEZ put out Action to Answer, and the single was called Answer. Yeah, Latin pop.
Latin pop for sure. That song is, I feel, yeah, I know that song. But it wasn't sung in Korean the last time I heard it.
Right. This one has a choral like whoa in it.
That's my fridge. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Started making this fun sound.
I thought it was like a cookie toy, but I was like, she's sitting right here.
It just happens every once in a while. She just likes to say hello.
So
You're doing great, sweetie.
Oh my God. But this song has like a whoa, which is a trend I noticed as I was putting this together that I didn't know was there. So I don't know if it's worth marking.
But we'll take note of it.
But take note of it. Yeah, the styling of this one had like an earth tone palette that I think we will see continue.
So maybe some hints of the cowboy agenda beginning.
Yes, because there's a big scene at the end of the MV where they're like at the end, like a long, elegant table, and they're all wearing wide brim black hats with turtlenecks and like a turtleneck and chain, and a wide brim hat.
This is the year of the hat.
For sure.
For sure.
So that's ATEEZ kicking the year off with Answer. Also on the 6th, X1 was officially disbanded. So final produce group ended in shame immediately.
For more information, check out our Producing a Scandal deep dive on all of the bullshit.
Exactly. On the 7th, SF9 put out First Collection, and the single was Good Guy. Yes, concept for Good Guy is suits ! Is what I wrote.
Yeah. Many different very good suits.
Also in stage looks, the white shirt with the sex harness and the suit pants also was happening.
Yeah. That has been happening for more than just this year, but also a very obvious trend.
Sure.
I mean, maybe that will just never go away now, but
yeah, maybe it's a longer, like it'll be a generational trend more than like a yearly one. Also, it's one of those, God, I need to learn music terms and understand what that specific beat is that I call H&M music, because it's that very specific, like kind of like 90s club song beat. And I'm sure it has a very specific name, and everyone's like, it's house. Like, I don't know. But it's one of those things, and this song is one of those songs, and I like those. I like when boys do those like dramatic H&M songs. I don't know what they're called. Anyway. All right. Next, on the 8th, girl group Dream Note. We discussed them in a support girl groups episode of a previous year. They came out with Dream Wish, and the single is called Wish. So this is like fun synth pop. It also has like old school girl groupie vibes. Also a start of a yearly look. They are wearing that like pink Chanel suit, the little cropped share in Clueless.
Yes, and these Chanel suits come up a lot this year, and both for girl groups and for boy groups. The girl groups are wearing that Clueless share Chanel suit, right?
With the
boots and the like mini skirt and the, like jacket without the collar, right? But the boys are also wearing the jackets without the collars, but they're wearing the like runway Chanel versions that have like the thick fabric and the like pearls and shit on it, right? Like, how many NCT things have we seen with Chanel jackets? We will find out as we continue through these quarterly reports.
All right. So next, on the 13th, Zico put out a single called Any Song. Okay, so this is like contender song of the year, probably going to win it. This was a chart all kill. It debuted at number 1 on the Gaon and stayed there for 5 weeks, which beat Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style was the last thing that did that. Then there was like a break for 2 weeks because other stuff came out, and then it came back for 2 more weeks. So it was the record holder for most of the year for longest number 1 at 7 weeks. He got 10 music show trophies, and it will probably be like the song of the year because it sold so many copies. And this was the first and maybe biggest TikTok challenge of the year.
Yeah, this is definitely a song I heard first on TikTok.
Yes, because he got Chungha and Hwasa to do it first, like the day that the song came out. And from there, it just like...
I feel like I saw like regular people doing it on my For You page before I ever realized that it was a Zico song because it was truly everywhere.
It was everywhere.
But on this same day, big news happened.
Big news. Chen announced that he was getting married and had a child on the way.
Yeah. Bomb dropped.
Big day.
Something we also have covered.
Yeah.
In a previous episode.
Okay, so next on the 14th, Jaejung, who's a former or is a member of JYJ, former TVXQ, and I think the only one who isn't completely disgraced yet,
but banished from the SM timeline nonetheless.
But he came out with his first release in 4 years, and it was called Singing Love, and the single Tender Love spent 2 weeks at number 1.
Tender Love. No?
No. TVXQs are still very popular.
Wow.
Yeah, but he hadn't put out music in a super long time, so I guess the fans were ready to put him back at number 1. So that was the 14th. On the 15th, Taeyeon put out a repack of Purpose, and the single was called Dear Me. So this was the repack of the album that had Spark last year. And that's what she usually does. If she does a dancey, follow it up with a ballad. Anyway, the trend to note here is in one of the music video scenes, she has
the individual
face swirlies of her hair face swirly.
That's a big trend of the year, specifically an SM trend. So Taeyeon, she started it off.
On the 17th, BTS announced that they were going to do Map of the Soul 7 and put out the pre-release single, Black Swan. Yes, when they put this out, it was with an art film, which we watched on episode 126. Go back. Then there was like nothing for a week, and on the 28th, Sekshkis came out. Original OG K-pop boy band came out with a single called All For You. God, this is for sure the number 1 pick of all the ladies in my office. So this is definitely retro, but I want to note that I think that it's very unique because I think the retro that we'll see later in the year is taking retro sounds and then doing them 2020 style, but this is classic 90s boy band music.
Yes, and because they are one of the first generation groups, I feel like they're not doing a retro concept. They're just making the same music they always did, but better.
Yeah.
So yeah, whereas the other retro songs that we will see and the retro trend, I feel like is almost not, I don't want to say caricature because I feel like that has bad connotation, but it's just like really it's super overt.
Yes.
It like hits you over the head with this retro like vibe of it. And this was not that. It's not like a wink, wink, retro vibe. It's just like we're from the 90s and like, we still make this music, but now we're good because we're adults.
Because we're adults and we tried harder. And like, I love it. Okay. Also on the 28th, Super Junior repacked Timeless and came out with a song called 이야이야오. So this is just like an old school box music video in a way that is like kind of striking. Like, but since it's Super Junior, you don't question it that much. But the concept is vaguely hip hop, I guess.
I guess.
So yeah, no like trends to note or anything. It's just it was
Super Junior. They came and they went.
Also on the 28th, BTS performed with Lil Nas X at the Grammys.
Yes.
They did.
A historical note.
29th, Golden Child rebooted or repacked their album Reboot. And the single was called Without You. So Cowboy Agenda, there are studded earth-toned trench coats and other cropped like leather coats in that music
and
video.
Suede. A lot of suede in that.
Beautiful. Otherwise, it's suits. Specifically, they also wore red suits, which I think is a trend of the year as well.
Oh, yeah. They have gorgeous red jackets in that music video.
Yes.
And I would perhaps, does this count as an ooh chorus? It has the Without You ooh.
Ooh.
It's a pretty, that's like, I feel like that's the main hook of the chorus, right?
That's
The
true.
little oohs.
Yeah, Golden Child, Without You. On the 30th, Only One Of released Unknown Art Pop 2.0. And the single is called Dora Maar. BD Creative did not have money for a music video for that one, but they went on lots of music shows.
Yes, and there is a choreography video for it.
Yes.
So check it out.
Shiny, sexy suit concept for that one.
Yes, it's a very sexy song.
And that's January.
Woo!
All right, we're doing it.
We did it.
Okay, February on the 2nd, G-Friend released Labyrinth with the single Crossroads.
I was wondering when our girl groups were. That was a very boy heavy month.
It really was.
Now let's get some ladies on the table.
I really don't even know. I don't know what
There
to
were
say
not-
without injecting any opinions because there's no trends to know.
Yeah,
in the
I was
music
just gonna
video.
say.
It's like a story music video.
There's no trends. A G-Friend song came out on the 2nd. The same day, we got Everglow, which came out with Reminiscence, and the single was called Dun Dun.
First sound title of the year with our Dun Dun.
Yeah.
This was like girl crush sequins. I noticed the racing flags in the music video felt like a thing, but I don't know if they were or if they're just an aesthetic choice.
Let's keep track. We'll
track.
just, see.
but
This is the first instance of racing flags. Let's see if it comes up.
Let's see if it comes back because it like struck
Feels
something
like
in me.
something that does.
And there's also in this music video there like a kind of swirly Lisa Frank colored like universe kind of aesthetic that I feel like is in a lot of music videos this year. On the 4th, we had a girl group debut. Signature debuted with Nunu Nana, which we covered on the Support Girl Groups episode, Support Girl Groups 2020 episode, so I didn't pull a clip, but that's another sound title to check.
An onomatopoeia.
On the 5th, Luna.
It's not really an onomatopoeia. Well, it is. Whatever.
could
It's just
say
a
done.
nonsense sound.
It's a sound. On the 5th, Luna came out with Hash. I learned that's how you pronounce the name of the album. It's called Hash. And the single was So What. The concept of this one was girls stomping all over the world.
Yeah.
And trend to note, there's denim Lukes.
Yes.
In the music video.
We got a lot of good denim this year. I feel like that could be a facet of the cowboy agenda, but this doesn't read cowboyish.
No.
However, if there was a Venn diagram,
there would be overlap.
There would be some overlap.
Absolutely, there would be overlap. On the 6th, Icon put out an album, I Decide, and the single was Dive. So to mix releases with news, this was a slightly controversial album in that it contained some songs that had the voice of B.I., who is no longer in Icon. Cowboy agenda, harmonicas, and flamenco guitar in this song, which I am counting as cowboy agenda.
Oh, okay, sure.
I think it all
sort of
goes
like
together.
Spaghetti westerny.
Yes, I think it all goes together somehow.
Also, red Lukes.
Red Lukes.
Not
They're
exactly
not
red suits, but they're all red attire.
And it's like a full red is what I'm noticing. Not just like outfits where red is the pop of color. It's like full red outfits.
Yeah, head to toe.
On the 10th, The Boys put out an album called Reveal, and the single was also called Reveal. The concept of this one was werewolf boys, so they were wearing leather pants and flowy pirate shirts.
Yeah, they looked great.
They did look great. Conversations to be had later.
Stay tuned.
On the 10th.
Same day.
The same day. And it's still February. Rocket Punch came out with Red Punch, and the single is called Bouncy. This very much reminds me of old school K-pop. There's like matchy but not matching outfits in the music video, and it's like bright colors, and there's like cereal like sitting in like food. It's like
it's all on a sound stage, and so it feels very set like, and there's like cartoon letters, and it feel like there are many, like I can think of like a top music video and like a few girl group music videos actually, and several boy groups that all have those like comic like pop art style aesthetic, and that is what this is.
Yes, but also just a thing to note or a question to ask, and maybe it is a larger generational question than a 2020 question, but cheerleader screaming in girl group music I feel like is kind of a must right now.
Yeah.
And I wonder, I won't say definitively we should check, but I feel like ITZY might have revived that trend, because like after school used to do it, so it's not like they invented it, but it feels like it's revived.
Yeah, ITZY, I feel like definitely maybe was the biggest push of it because it is so essential to their vibe. But I would say like the Blackpink, like that is their soundbite. However, I feel like it doesn't factor in to Blackpink's music the way it does with ITZY and other girl groups like this Rocket Punch song.
Yeah, and even the Luna song, the Everglow one, like, I don't know. It's fun because it's very fun to scream along to. It's just a thing that I've noticed in this like generation that
Not
cheerleader
specifically a
screaming.
2020 trend, but a newer generational trend.
Yeah.
Kind of like sex harnesses.
Exactly. Note it all for the history, guys. Okay. On the 12th, Pentagon released Universe, The Black Hole, and the single was Dr. Bebe. Emo Pentagon.
Yeah, dark Pentagon.
Angsty tummies is one of the notes that I wrote. Because there are tummies, but they're sad.
But they're sad tummies.
Because they're having a hard time with Dr. Bebe or whatever is happening in that song.
Yeah, I don't know. Yenon wasn't back, so I wasn't paying attention. Trends of note.
There's a at the beginning of it.
All right, cool. Next.
On the 12th, card.
Same day.
Same day. Card. Red Moon. Single also called Red Moon. The concept of this one seemed to be like glamour.
Yes,
and like
high
high
fashion.
fashion, but trendy, crushed earth toned velvet. And also fashion bangs and finger waves.
Yes, BM had some finger waves in one little clip of that, which I love the male finger waves. I don't know if that's really like a full on trend. Well, I guess if we count it in with the with the little curlies, because I feel like there is some overlap there.
A general hair sculpting, sort of.
Yes.
Which, interestingly, remember in our 2000s episode, we talked about how people had so many crazy hairs. The sculpting of the hair was so wild.
However, this is interesting analysis. Back then, the sculptures were reaching greater heights, like we've architectural feats, right, of engineering. And now everything's real low to the ground, right? Like we are keeping it grounded and more simple, flat, close to the face, and durable.
Yeah. Because the choreo is much harder these days. Can't knock the hair down.
And so is life.
Oh boy. On the 13th, AB6 put out an album called Finally. And this was like a concept album where all 5 members did a solo track. So I didn't pull any clips, but I just thought I would note it because that's cool.
That's neat.
All right, on the 14th, on Valentine's Day, Monsta X put out their English debut, All About Love. It contained 5 previously released English singles and then a bunch of new ones. We're not going to play a clip, even though it pains me to say that, because there were enough U.S. releases, English releases, like trying to get radio play here in the U.S., that we're going to come back to it in a whole episode.
Yes. So just of historical note, Monsta X, All About Love.
Album of the year in my heart, if it was up for contention.
No opinions right now.
On the 15th, another thing that's always important to note in K-pop history is when K-drama soundtracks capture the hearts of the public and become #1 hits. So from the drama Crash Landing on You, IU's song I Will Give You My Heart spent a week at #1. That was a very popular drama this year, and it had a bunch of songs on the soundtrack that charted, but IU got the #1. On the 17th, IZ*ONE released Bloom Eyes, and the single was called Secret Story of the Swan. This album broke the girl group record for first week album sales. The music video includes more swirly Lisa Frank colored universe swirlies in it, sequins, like full sequin dresses, and face jewels.
Ah, the beautiful face jewels. That's a trend that's larger than just 2020, but I'm so glad to see it continuing.
Yes, and more jewels, and put them in new places and put more on.
Yeah.
I love it.
For girls and boys, it's a great look all around.
On the 18th, Dreamcatcher released Dystopia, The Tree of Language, and the single is Scream. Dreamcatcher.
One of a kind.
Yeah, my note for it was a whole vibe, nothing else like it. Like what could you even say? They are doing their own thing entirely, and they kill at it. Okay, on the 20th, Wiki Miki put out a pre-release to their upcoming album, and the single was called Dazzle Dazzle. For this one, no 2020 trends to note.
Yeah.
Honestly, it even feels like leftover 2019 trends in its color palette.
And it was in February, so it was still sort of like the trend. I feel like the 2020 trends don't really get started until like the second quarter. We'll really see them
For sure.
blossom. Blossom with the spring.
On the next day, on the 21st, BTS released Map of the Soul 7, and the single is On. This was the music video where they have the drum line and they're dancing in the big empty reservoir, and it's dope as fuck. Also, it's not a trend, but I had to note it for the sake of the podcast, and that this music video has a ton of nip slips, and so I just must always
We got to call those out. Points for nip slips.
always. On the 24th, Ravi from Vix released a solo album called El Dorado.
Wait, it does have a 2020 trend.
Oh yes, oh whoa.
Also what is the ABC?
Okay, so I have to say this, and I'm sorry if anybody like can't unhear it once they know this, but if you watch Hulu, if you watch any shows on ABC, the little sting they play before it goes, oh, and whenever I hear this song and they do that, I think of the ABC intro. Every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time.
And now I think of that every time I hear that song, but it's okay.
Sorry if that makes you think of it every single time, listener. All right, on the 24th, Ravi from Vix put out his first solo album. It is called El Dorado, and the single was called Rockstar. The concept of this one is like boys with four-wheelers for the music video, but cowboy agenda, leather jacket with very long fringe.
Yeah.
Nothing underneath it, of course, because Ravi is a hot boy.
Yeah, he is a hot boy.
He's so hot. Anyway, on the 25th, news item important to us, Woo Young from 2PM was finally discharged from the military. And our year where every discharge made us lighter and happier than the last. It began
with a light of our lives. Woo Young.
Returning to us.
Haven't gotten anything out of 2 p.m., but we'll talk about
Hey,
that
Lou,
some
shot
other
of season's
time.
greetings.
Yeah, well. Another time.
On the 27th of February, a boy group debut. This is a boy group called MCND, and their debut album is called Into the Ice Age, and the single is called Ice Age. So from what I could gather from this MCND debut is that they're mostly dressed like in that approachable, nice debuted boy group way, where they're wearing like oversized street clothes and like headbands, or they're wearing those like Versace pattern jackets, and they're in like a gas station and it's snowing. Oh, bless you. Yeah, so it's a boy group. It's a boy group debut, and they're going soft to start.
Yeah, they're going nice
Like, boy.
Yeah, nice,
as opposed to sex harness boy.
Yeah, no overt 2020 trends in this one.
But welcome, MCND. March. On the 1st, Crashy debuted. We talked about them in the Support Girl Groups episode. Go back. On the 3rd, S-Coops from 17 announced on V-Live that he would be resuming activities.
Woo! Welcome back.
On the 6th, NCT 127 released Neozone, and the single is Kick It. I wrote that the concept for this one is martial arts and nudity.
True.
And I also wrote that Mark's chonky highlights are no longer shocking from here in November.
Yes, however, I will note that I blame Mark and these chunky highlights. No, I don't blame Mark. He has no say in it. The poor boy's hair is always a train wreck. I blame whoever keeps train wrecking his hair. The poor boy needs a better hairstylist. He always gets the bad, insane hairstyles.
That's true.
And these chunky highlights were fucking gross. And now they're everywhere to the point where even my show new has them now.
I know.
And it's upsetting.
For sure.
So thanks, SM.
Thanks, SM, for
that.
everything. On the 6th of March, concert cancellations for coronavirus start pouring in. BTS cancels their Seoul shows, so do Red Velvet and NCT, and that ball starts rolling. On the 8th, Victon came back with Continuous, and the single is called Howling.
Shout out to AMAK meme manager Mara. She loves Victon.
Yes. This music video gave me such deep second-gen boy group vibes. They're like on the shiny ring ding dong roof, and like it looked like Infinite videos, the way that they're like being emo in houses. I don't know. Anyway, it just like gives me feels for old school times. Yeah. Good, beautiful jackets and music video as well.
Looks. But this is not the time for opinions.
Right.
Moving on.
On the 9th, this
ice cream truck. I'm sorry.
Hi,
I live in Los Angeles, and there are ice cream trucks in my neighborhood constantly. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. You know what? We're lucky that there's only one. Sometimes there's two, and they're dueling.
Okay, on the 9th, Taeyeon was supposed to come back with Happy, but she canceled her comeback because her father unexpectedly passed away. So that comeback didn't happen. Also on the 9th, ITZY released It's Me, and the single was Wannabe. I wrote, how does one even categorize this one?
This song, I don't know. It's an ITZY song, and I feel like they're sort of a category of their own. Right. They are this like sort of brash, almost like a marching band style pop.
Yeah, and I also noted that this one, like the chorus has like a real like rock guitar driving the whole chorus, which is very interesting as well. Yeah, ITZY just
very
is
grand
ITZY.
sounds.
Yeah. Okay, on the 14th of March, Wonho, formerly of Monsta X, was officially cleared of all of his drug charges, which was a great win for justice.
Yes.
On the 20th, Jackson Wang from GOT7 put out a single called 100 Ways. discuss on an English release episode. On the 20th as well, another Smash OST that has to be discussed. Itaewon Class was a popular drama that had a ton of soundtrack songs in the top 10, but one that spent a significant amount of time at number 1 is called Start Over by Gaho. Very popular drama, Itaewon Class. Park Seo-joon. On the 24th, Kang Daniel released an album called Cyan, and the single is To You, number 2, letter U. So Kang Daniel was totally going puffy jacket boyfriend Luke for this comeback.
Yeah, soft and groovy.
He had blue hair.
Hijinks in a movie theater is what you wrote in these notes. And as we were just watching that clip, I gotta ask, did SM completely rip this concept off for Baekhyun's Candy? Because I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, it really seems like it is.
Like
It's
the co-ed backup dancers, the hijinks in the theater, the puffy jacket, the tracksuit. I
Wow.
don't know if Kang Daniel's wearing a tracksuit in it, but it has tracksuit vibes.
Yeah, it really does have tracksuit vibes.
Just saying.
Interesting. This
Anyway.
was the 4th best-selling single of the quarter.
Wow. You go, Kang Daniel. Give your CEO a pat on the back.
Oh, it's him. On the 24th, the same day, One Us put out In Its Time, and the single is called A Song Written Easily. This is flowy pirate shirts and chokers in nature. But this song includes 2 of the musical trends in that it is a whistle song and it has whoa-ohs.
Whoa-whoa-whoas in the chorus.
So that's One Us. The next day on the 25th, BTS's US tour or world tour was officially postponed, which then set off a domino effect of all of the tours being postponed. On the 26th of March, Winner put out a pre-release called Hold. This was just like a very fun it was like a sweet nerd concept. The actual album art for the single has all 4 of them in like ugly sweaters and bowl cuts with that school background, and they're like sitting in a line, like holding each other's waists.
Cute.
And doing like the awkward smile.
Yeah.
So it was just like a very fun, like pre-release cheeky little thing from Winner. And then on the 30th of March, last thing we have for the quarter,
We did it.
EXO Suho released his first solo album called Self Portrait, and the single was Let's Love. So this is just, it's not a trend, but it's worth noting that Suho made an early 2000s adult contemporary masterpiece. It reminds me of everything. When I worked at Bath and Body Works in 2007, Suho's album would have fit perfectly on the store rotation, and I say that as the highest of compliments. But yeah, that was his Off to the Military release.
Yes, and it takes us to the end of the quarter. So
Woo!
thank you, dear leader.
We did it. All right, so that's the recap. I hope everybody was taking notes.
Yeah, keep notes because we're going to come back to some of these things on our upcoming end of the year spectacular.
Yeah, and we'll be right back with the random game. All right, we're back. And today we got a subunit, specifically a subunit of Block B, and that is the Bastars.
Is that really how you say it?
Bastage.
Okay, Bastars.
Yeah. And this is B-Bomb, Yuquan, and P.O. from Block B. And they debuted with their first mini album called Conduct Zero in 2015. That first single was produced by their bandmate Zico. And then the other members wrote subsequent releases. They've put out 3 full EPs. The first one peaked at number 3.
It debuted at number 3.
Or debuted at number 3.
And they have the first one was in 2015. Then they came out with one the following year. Excuse me. Then they came out with one the following year in 2016. And then their last EP came out in 2019. And I think that that's their most recent release. Yes, that's their most recent release. And they have also made a Japanese debut shortly after their initial Korean debut.
Yeah, they did a song last year called From Soul that I like very much. But the music video that we're going to be watching today is their debut music video, Zero for Conduct, with 8.9 million views from 2015.
Yeah, the EP is called Conduct Zero, but the title track is called Zero for Conduct.
That sounds like they're bad boys.
Dun, dun, dun.
Here we go.
Well, they are called Bastards. Bastars. Oh, we've got handcuffs, black and white, cobwebs, and chains. Have I heard this song before?
Maybe. Okay, there's
geez.
like girls in lingerie. Oh, lots of girls in lingerie.
Yeah, okay, so this is very much like tough, cool guy vibes.
Casino gangster stuff.
Yeah. And then just ladies in lingerie. Oh, I guess because it's kind of like how, like when you work in like a drug cartel, you have to do your work in your underwear so that they can tell that you're not stealing anything. So like, but these girls are working in like
a slaughterhouse. They were like chopping meat in clear plastic things with their boobies underneath.
We got a fur hat on. I don't know who's who because I don't really know anything about Block B.
I know that I'm pretty sure that P.O. is the one that has that giant neck tattoo of a bat, but I don't know if he had it in 2015.
It doesn't
or
appear.
Or if it was covered.
Doesn't appear that he does. I know that aside from P.O., the other two are their main dancers. One of the men in this is very hot.
That really big hat is really wild. It's
I
like
was
a
just
chef
thinking the
hat.
same thing. Like a very large floppy beret. That one, he's hot.
Who doesn't have a shirt on under his jacket.
Wait, was that a neck tattoo?
That's what I'm saying.
P.O.?
I can't tell. Aren't showing anybody long enough.
No, you know what the hat looks like? One of those, those like old, like Renaissance, like portraits of royalty and stuff. And they would wear like the most absurd, like pompous, flowy things. But it looks like something out of a painting.
For sure.
Yeah, this one that's being the DJ. He's hot. Don't be acting like a loser. I mean...
Is he drinking blood out of a champagne glass?
Ooh.
That's disgusting.
Wow. One of these guys is just holding a torch and like waving it at the camera.
Menacingly. Yeah. Oh yeah, vampire! Oh, they're full of vampires.
Oh wow, crime vampires. Why not? I guess that's why they're always in the dark at night. Oh, that one's wearing a scary hockey mask. Why?
Wow.
Well, literally vampires because they ended with biting a woman's neck. That was Bastards.
Yes, it was. And that brings us to the end of the episode. And we haven't done a regular episode in so long. I forgot that this is when we do recommendations.
It is when we do recommendations. And I had a recommendation. Oh, I remember what it is. If you guys have not watched Kai, the movie extravaganza, the film, the art house film teaser that is his album preview, that's my recommendation.
Right.
It's like 6.5 minutes long, and it's stunning from start to finish. Every frame is gorgeous, and every song is going to be great.
It's out
Very
for
excited.
the people listening to this.
Oh,
it's out tonight.
Is out already.
So
that's my recommendation.
They have
then.
more than we
God.
have.
Wow, I'm jealous of you, future people, because I over here am just gonna live with my projector-sized version of this art film, but you get to listen to the
whole thing, and maybe there's even more video content.
God.
Wow, you're so lucky, future people.
I hope you're watching all of it because Kai is amazing.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all I got.
I feel like that's probably good. I'm trying to think if there's anything. But I'm absolutely 100% blanking. Chungha's English release. If you
but we're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it another time. Later. So, yeah, we're going to cover everything. So I'm trying to think, is there a show that I watched or something that isn't?
Oh, something that's not
like
a song.
A music release that I could recommend. I guess I haven't watched any, so maybe recommendation for myself, but apparently they've recently put Keychin show up fully subbed and stuff.
Amazing.
Because people have been talking about the Mino episode, and I was like, wasn't that 2 years ago? But everybody's talking about it like it's fresh, and I think they have now that Shiny's back and everyone gives a shit again, they're putting the things back up with the subs.
We can talk about the fact that Shiny's back.
Yes,
it is. A secondary recommendation can be for Shiny's new V Live channel.
Yeah,
and
they need more subscribers. They haven't had a V Live channel long enough.
And if you're a newbie K-pop fan who has only ever known Taemin as a solo artist or a Super M Hyung, then you must immediately tune in to Shiny's V Live channel. Watch literally anything. I don't care. Something that has all of them. You need to know who Baby Cheese is.
Right.
It's blasphemous to me.
Right.
That people don't. I understand why. I understand why it happened.
Exactly. Sure.
But I don't like it. And they won't stand for it. So if you're a fan of Super M or Taemin and you've never seen him with his brothers, then go watch their V Lives immediately.
Yes. That's what you should do. All right. Next week, it's time for Q2. So get ready for that. And if you would like to see us in the meantime, we can be found at AMA K-Pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/AMA K-Pop Pod. We just put up our November episode, which is a 17 stage outfit spotlight. And we love to do stage outfit spotlights.
I worked really hard on the slideshow, so check it out.
Yes, please
for only
do.
$3, it can be yours.
All yours. And we have a voicemail, 181 AMA K-Pop 5. AMAKpoppod@gmail.com.
Okay, cool.
Ask me about K-Pop podcast on YouTube. P.O. Box
26096, Los Angeles, California 90026.
And those are all the places.
Discord linked in the bio of Instagram and Twitter.
All those places. So check it out.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week for Q2. So excited to keep recapping this overwhelming ass year with you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Jonghyun, you're our inspiration. Oh my God, I'm coming back in after the episode. If you stayed in, then you get this beautiful bonus. But I realized a thing that I could recommend that I have to recommend, which is Ace went on that wonderful Andromeda channel that's winning in my heart for coolest new channel of the year or whatever. And they sang a Twice medley, and it's fucking amazing. They're amazing. They're so good at singing.
I already turned off my mic, so I'm just
come
leaning
over
over
here.
to say Ace is incredible vocals, and I spent a very long time showering Shannon with every vocal cover that I could find of theirs. They're beautiful, and I like them very much. Thank you. Feel free to send us Ace things.
I'm sure there's something that we've missed buried deep in there. But
I know I've recommended this on the Discord before, but if you've never watched the Take Me Higher music video, you need to watch it immediately. It has soft crop tops, and it's a great song.
Absolutely. Okay, now we're done for real.